Okay, I think we can begin. My today's lecture is about this bulk operations module for Drupal 8. I'm going to tell you how it happened, that the module was created, the Drupal 8 version actually. I will go a bit through the history of the module itself. I will tell you about its features, the API usage, and some additional stuff at the end. Okay, now hopefully I can... Yeah, it works. Okay, first question, who of you has ever used this bulk operation? Not only Drupal, but in general. One? Okay, that's a little more. Okay, now who used these bulk operations for Drupal 8? Alright. Okay. I thought it's quite a common module. Alright. Well, then, yeah. This bulk operations is a graphical user interface and application programmer interface module that utilizes views and allows executing actions on selected entities. So it adds checkboxes to the view rows and allows us to select an action and execute on all the selected entities. Now about some history. The module started in 2007. The first commit and the initial work was done by Karim Ratib. The Drupal core was back then at version 5. Yeah, it was roughly 11 years ago, so it has quite a long history. The Drupal 7 version was started around 2010, so Karim did the Drupal 5, Drupal 6, and the initial Drupal 7 version. But then, in about May 2011, the project was taken over by the commerce guys, and most of the work was done by Bojan Živanović, the current maintainer of Drupal Commerce. The 8x 1x branch started in March 2017, so a few months before the last year DrupalCamp, and the work was done by some grabber guy. Yeah. And what's also interesting in the commit history, because this history I actually went through the commits in the repository, is that some people, some names, some nicknames are there all the time. So through those 11 years you can see the same people being on the project and contributing to it. Okay. Now a bit about the beginnings. In my previous work I had a task to export some entity data to Microsoft Excel format. Well, it couldn't be done without these bulk operations, and there was no these bulk operations at that time. So I just commented on the task that it can't be done at the moment. You should wait for these bulk operations to be developed. But then the project with the task was taken over by my colleague. So yeah, it wasn't my task anymore. But somehow I just couldn't let it go, because I did some research and seen that the issue to port these bulk operations to Drupal 8 is quite old, and somehow there's no work on the issue. Even if it's a very useful module and some features were actually missing from Drupal 8. So I started the sandbox And it was going quite well. It was very promising. Then I met the community. I wrote some comments about the sandbox on the port issue. And when it was promising and I received some positive feedback, I contacted Bojan Rivanovic, and then he redirected me to the current maintainer of Drupal operations, Joel Pittet. And Joel checked the code and asked me if I want to be the maintainer of the module. So I said, hey, why not? Okay. Perfect. Now, for me, Drupal operations development was mainly a challenge, something I really needed to keep those gray cells active and going, because I just finished some other project with a very complex library and needed something more than just fixing some simple bugs. So, it also allowed me to find my place in the community. It was also fun to meet other good developers and work together. Especially nice to integrate Drupal operations with Search API. Yeah, it's also good that I could help others with their projects and make the Drupal a bit better. Okay. Yeah, about the picture. I went to the forest near my place because I knew there were big logs blocking the road. But somehow all of them were removed. That was the only one I could find. But believe me, there were bigger difficulties when developing Drupal operations. So I think the biggest difficulty was finding a way to select view entities basing on raw information. The Drupal core bulk form uses 4 parameters to do it: entity type ID, entity ID, language, and optionally revision ID if it's a revision view. But since the 2.0 branch, those bulk operations uses only 2 parameters. One is view base field ID, and the second one is language, because every view has a parameter like base ID. But apart from that, it was quite hard to integrate with core views API because it's quite complex. Also, custom views like Search API view was a challenge, and also the project when I learned to write automated tests, so that was also a challenge for me. But actually, automated tests now save me a lot of work. They just review the issues and patches people are submitting. Now, let's compare the Drupal core bulk form and this bulk operation. So with both we can perform operations on selected entities. Yeah, we can have a confirmation and configuration step in both, but in case of core bulk form is actually a workaround, because we use the confirm form route to, well, the action execute method doesn't really execute the action, but saves entity list to a temp store, and then the entities the action is executed on the entities in the confirm form submit handler. So it's really a workaround. Yeah, views bulk operations also support some preliminary configuration, supports batching, selecting all the results, persistent selection across pages where you can switch pages and the selection is saved, and also Drush. Now, with all those advantages, the usage statistics for the Drupalite version are quite low. is the orange line. It's barely lifted from the 0 line. Currently, 4,500 sites are using it. Not probably because most of the sites, it's just sufficient for them to use the core bulk form. They don't need the power of these bulk operations. It's perfectly okay. So, yeah, when you don't need such functionalities, it's quite better to go for a simpler solution. Right. Now I will go through the features of the module. First, the confirmation step has a default form enabled by annotation parameter, and the name of the parameter is confirm. It has a list of the selected entities and can be extended, replaced by using the confirm form root annotation parameter. The configuration step is enabled by implementing a single method in the action class. It has a list of selected entities and the default submit handler. It can be customized, of course. Now the preliminary configuration is the configuration you can do on the Views admin page. It is also enabled by implementing a single method in the action class. It has a default override label element, and it doesn't have any custom submit handler. So the values that are sent by the form, they are directly saved to the action configuration area. Okay, the Drush API support allows us to bypass any possible timeouts to actually fix such a problem if it could arise. Yes, and also in case of some complex actions that may require, for example, like accessing some external API web point. So we can also do that on many entities. And we have a fancy progress bar. I like watching progress bars because they show how machines work for us. So yeah, we have the elapsed time and estimated information. Now we can select all results on all pages, where expose filters take effect, view arguments take effect, and the process is like the entity list is pre-populated first in one batch process, and then the list is being processed. It's a two-step process. Okay. Okay, now about the persistent selection. It's enabled when there is more than one page of results in the view, or when there are exposed filters in effect. It shows the selection information, like the count of entities and entities selected on other pages, and it uses simple Ajax rather than the Drupal Ajax framework. We have a Drush command. It also has the same alias as the Drupal 7 version, Drush video execute, but I also added a shorter alias, Drush video exec. It allows to execute an action on all results of a selected view. It supports expose filters, arguments, and also we can apply any values to the action configuration. The parameters are entered in a query string format. Here you can see output with a verbose parameter. It shows some additional info like processing time and the steps taken. Now about the API. We have full documentation of the module that is available under that link. We have some example module included in the package. Also, 2 test modules used for automated tests and 2 config modules that can also be seen. However, I will show you some code now. Okay. Here's the module. Let me just collapse the core. Simple info file without many additional parameters. The dependency on these bulk operations is really a self-dependency, so we don't have to include it. If these bulk operations are disabled, then just the action will not be available for it. And now let's start with a simple action. Is that text visible? I can make it a little bigger. Okay, so all we need to implement in the action class is the execute method and the access method. The execute method actually executes the action in the entities, and the access method tells us if the current user can do it with the entities. Yeah, this action does some strange stuff with the entity titles. Now let's see how it works. I have some titles here, some entities. And let's do it. Simple action. Okay, it's done. And my titles won't look very nice. I have to fix them like that. Now let's see some more complex action. This one. Okay, let's see at the annotation. We have an action ID here, action label, the type. For the last action, the type of node, but we can leave this parameter empty. Then the action will be available for all entity types. We also have here a confirm parameter that is set to true in this case, so there will be a confirm form and some requirements. We have actually one possible requirement at the moment, and it is permission. So only users with some permission will be able to execute this action and actually see this action. There's also actions permissions module in the package that creates permissions for every action and basically makes it absolute to this parameter. But the action permission module itself uses this parameter. Yeah, and here the action will not do anything with the entities. It will just send a message to the browser. Now let's see how it works. Let's select a few entities. Now there is also many pages. Okay, you can see the list. And let's execute the more parameters action. And we have a confirmation form here, where we can execute and go back. So, here's the output of the action. All 4 entities were processed. We're just displaying the title in some message and the result message. Okay, and now for the last action example. It's a fully configurable action with some basic annotation parameters. So it implements a few interfaces, like ViewSpark operations configuration interface that defines this method, so we don't have to add any comment to it, and also plugin form interface, which is a core interface, and this one defines this method and some other two methods that are defined in the base class, so we don't have to define them, like the validation and submission of the configuration form. Okay. Does it look simple enough? 4 methods, 2 to build configuration forms and define some fields, and 2 obligatory to execute the action and check the access to it. So now let's see the effect. The configuration form. I wish I had a mouse now. Hopefully not the right one. Yeah, that's the action. The DrupalCamp PL configurable action with our custom form element. It has a value of first part. And again, we can just select some entities. Maybe let's select none of them now. And let's use the configurable action. So we can field the second part of the title and execute the action. Yeah, it happened. All the entities have, from this page at least, have the same title. Okay, back to the presentation. So the complementary modules, ViewSpark Edit, that's the module that was in ViewSpark operations package in the Drupal 7 version. It allows to modify entity field values. We also have ViewSpark operations export that allows us to export view results, actually not entities themselves, but what is rendered by the view, to CSV or to Excel format. The ViewSpark operations export module can be helpful in case of GDPR compliance, because there's a requirement to for the users to carry their data somewhere else. We can export it for them and send them the data. And there are some other complementary modules I haven't checked, but maybe the use cases of ViewSpark operations are almost limitless. Now the plans for the future. Basically there's always maintenance of the module. So if something arises in the issue queue, then we have to handle it. Also updates of deprecated code in the core. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens. Now, there are some Drupal core issues that affect ViewSpark operations. At the moment, there is only one, that you cannot delete file entities, because the access handler doesn't allow anyone else than the owner of the file to delete the file actually. This should be fixed. Maybe I will address it soon. Also, I thought it would be good to have an API endpoint for headless solutions. It would be something similar to the Drush command in code, but quite different because it will include the IDs of the roles to be executed. But in general, if an issue arises, it's reported in the issue queue, and it gets some love, like it gets followed by people, it gets commented, and most probably it will be done. Yes, if someone sees any bugs with the module or has an idea how to improve it, then please create issues. It will allow us to make the code better. This module is quite actively maintained, so you can there will be action. Yeah, it's also a good practice with other modules and Drupal core, although some of them are quite forgotten. About contribution, yes, we have the issue queue again, and there's a channel, Drupal operations, and Drupal Slack. Yeah, and with a droplet animation, I came to the last slide. So, thank you for your attention, and if there are any questions, please.
Two questions. It's an access question. Those access you mentioned in your source code came from normal access privileged stuff in Drupal.
Yes, this is the entity class access handler. It's usually inherited from some base entity type class.
Yes, and when user is not complying this access, it has no privileges for this particular access, what it will be the outcome? He will see this operation, but he will be unable to execute, or this action will be removed from the list?
Yes, there's a message that shows the status of the operations, and it will just show that some of them were denied access. Okay, I will not search in code. I think we don't have to waste time for that. So it will be like the number of operations completed like 4 and access denied like 3.
First of all, I would like to thank you for contributing such great module like viewbook operations, viewbook edit. I got a question because I was trying to use viewbook edit for commerce product, and there is an issue because I'm not able to edit such products because of the product variations. And my question is, are you planning to create dedicated module for commerce products in future? Is it somewhere on your roadmap?
Like I said, there is no roadmap really. If there is an issue and we get some love, then I may go this way.
Thank you very much.